Walshy here, and I got a surprise for you today. I have a quad screen gameplay of Status Quo versus RHAB, which team name is Ryan Has a Bedtime, from the recent AGL Chicago event. I got all this thanks to Jeenyus, and I'm really excited to do this quad screen gameplay because it's a 4v4 capture the flag and dispatch, and I'm going to be able to show you and tell you different ways that teams are able to escort their flag or stop flags and get different setups, all with every viewpoint here. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to start this up. I have not watched this game yet. I have a good idea of what might happen because I've seen the brackets and how they play out, but let's just check this out. What we're going to be focusing here on dispatch is there's four main weapons: the two snipers, the sticky dat, and the overshield. The snipers and the overshield are coming up 2 minutes after grab, and the sticky dat's on a static timer, so no matter what, that's going to be coming every 2 minutes. So this first overshield is grabbed at about the 29:55 mark. So let's just keep that in the back of our minds for 27:55 mark when that comes up. One thing that you'll notice that top pros are doing, like you notice Fear Itself right now, he is rotating his death screen anytime he's dead to keep eyes for his teammates. So even when you're dead, whether you see an enemy or not on your screen, you always want to keep that moving around because you can always spot someone out, or else even the information that you can give one of your teammates, letting them know, hey, there's no one in this area. That's process of elimination, and it lets your teammates know that someone's not there and they're most likely somewhere else, obviously. So that's just small little things that top pros do rather than just flipping around their desk screens and looking for where what their teammates are doing. So that's a bad habit that you can get to online. And also, what you need to be doing during death times is pressing the back button, seeing what the numbers are, letting your teammates know what the exact situation is. Because if there's two of you dead and two of the other team dead, obviously your teammates can just play it right about normal. Whereas if there's two of you dead and all four of the other teammates are up, you need to basically be hiding, waiting for your teammates to come back up. Or if you can isolate a 1 versus 1, take that fight. So it's just like some small basic 4v4 tips that a lot of top pros do, even when they're dead. So, and as many of you will probably joke, I've had a lot of experience being in death screens, so I should know this better than anybody. So we have RHAB off to an early 1-0 lead, and I attribute that to, it seems like Status Quo just seems to be running around in not the most ideal positions. I've noticed at least 1 or 2 members this entire time down low without getting any sort of cover fire from the sides. They just seem to be running around kind of aimlessly in some cases and just trying to do their own thing. I mean, these are 4 top players. I mean, we have 2 national champions out of Victory X and Fear Itself. We have Enable and Flamestar, 2 of my good buddies that are sponsored by Red Bull, and they've, they have nothing to prove. They've been at the very top. They've been taken second in nationals and just had, even won the very first, it was the 2011 Reach event, or 2012. Sometimes I forget my dates. So, the recent OS came up. They obviously, that's already gone, but Fear Itself is doing an interesting route here. So you notice he first had his teammate escorting him from the side, and he left him right there, which I disagreed because he must have had some sort of bad communication there where he thought, alright, the majority of them are dead, and I can take the fastest route possible without getting punished for this. And so he ran down that way rather than just taking the safe side route. And now they have their flag in not the most ideal position. It's good that Victory was able to finally move it up over here, but at that moment it was actually very scary until Victory was able to actually get on that side, because the other team, they can be at any position on the map. They can literally be on the sides, or they can be bomb middle, and every single spot they can see the map or see the flag stop. And that's one thing you have to keep in mind, where some people will think, oh, as long as I get my flag a little bit closer to our capture point, that's better. And it's not always the case. Sometimes you want to have your flag in an easy protectable spot that if you die with it, like your teammate can grab it and be safe in that area, rather than your teammate having to give up a death just to get a touch and keep the flag alive. So we got a 1-1 game here. Many you'll notice how long this YouTube video is, so I'm assuming this game is going to be going into overtime. So we got a long flag cap game, and we have about another 20 seconds for this OS. Now OS on 4v4 dispatch, it is, any advantage you can get is great, but I don't think that's the game-breaking one. I think really in this one, you need to be focused on getting the side and getting your snipers. The reason for wanting to get your snipers is because there's so many other things you can do. Like when there's 10-second spawns, you can actually get that kill and get that number advantage. Anytime you have a number advantage in Halo 4 with 4v4s, your team is going to move in together. You'll first off have that snowball effect. So if you're able to move in with 2 or 3 of your teammates, you get another kill, then obviously 4v2, 4v1, and you can run those flags. So OS is not what's going to be able to give you those advantage numbers. Like obviously it's a slight advantage, but OS is just one extra layer of shield which can be taken off with 4 or 5 VR shots. And with team shot going on, as you notice right here, you see Enable shooting down. That OS is already gone. Its effect is negated already. So that's why I just feel that most of these teams should be focusing more on the side and getting the snipers. And obviously, when you can get the OS, you do move up there and get it, because obviously, if you're close enough being like holding down ring 3 on this map, that's totally fine, but should not be the main focus on this. The sniper should be both of these teams' main focus in order to get control. I'm starting to notice Status Quo doing a little better right at this moment as far as getting kills and control. Even though they're down, you notice what they're doing is they have Victory and Flame both on the sides, and Enable, who's a notorious flanker. He's actually bottom middle and moving in. So what they were doing wrong before and weren't getting the kills was because they had people moving bomb center, and those people would be the initiators. They would be the first ones to be seen, and that's not how you're going to ever get an effective flank. An effective flank is going to be done where your teammates are distracting them, pulling them off long enough so that someone can come from the side, and you see they're doing it perfectly with Enable. They are all distracted on the other teammates, like such as Ring 3 Fear itself, or Flame Sword, who is sniping from the side and now top center. And Enable's just able to go up, and first off, the person's already weak, but then he also gets to jump on them. There's no way someone with a great shot like Enable is ever going to lose that fight. Whereas if Enable's spotted first, and someone either gets the first shot in Enable, or even if Enable's on even ground with him, Enable's most likely going to be in a worse position since he's flanking around, and Ryan has a bedtime. His teammates are going to have faster help than Enable is. And that's one of the reasons that Enable is a very good flanker, is because he knows that there's a fine line between baiting and playing the situation correctly. And he does it very correctly the majority of the time. So that's what you just notice, that whole run that Enable did right there. If you want to even rewind this and watch how well he played it out in the top left screen, he did a great job just going through, finishing off the kills, and pretty much being a ghost on their side of the map until he knew he could surprise them. Now here's a situation where Enable is not in the best position. He's this flanker, and he might be able to get the stop, but at the same time, he was the only one down there. Basically, he has no one cover firing for him at the moment. And that's not a time where you need to be flanker. Like, you can actually flank out and get to the side, but you need to not be fighting battles as fast as possible. You need to basically buy time for your teammates and pretty much take their attention on the other side of the map so that your team cannot get in a spawn trap. So we have Flame Sword with a sniper in the top right, taking off Ring 3. That's very crucial. Alright, so Ring 3 on this map, it's one of those things when you start to get the other team on a spawn trap that you are in such a safe position up there, because you can just lay down you can lay down shots, and until you get to like half shields or no shields, you can back down and be completely safe on your side. And that's so smart of Flame Sword to use his sniper to take out that guy immediately, because without a sniper, the person's going to get away, just sort of like how Enable was fighting him Ring 3. That person was just able to back down after trading shots with Enable, and he's not going to get finished off likely when they're all spawning on one side of the map. So I've been noticing just sort of the end of this game, or I guess this would be closer to the middle, since we, let's see how long's in this one right now. Oh, can't pull up the time. I don't feel like messing it up. But, I mean the game's been going about 8 minutes, and I've noticed the positioning for Status Quo being much better. They must have had, I guess, not as much in-depth strategy to this, because I mean, these guys probably rolled into this event, practiced a slight bit, and just were like, alright, let's just go, use our natural skill and natural teamwork and just roll through the competition. And obviously, that cannot be the case for them, because they're already in loser's bracket round 3 and playing against a squad who is relatively unknown. I mean, there are some names in there I've recognized, like Slushy and a couple of names in there, but not to the point of national championship names such as Victory and Fear itself. Now, once again, I'm watching Enable. I keep focusing on him because I feel like it's very very important part of the team where you have this flanker. He's someone that's easy to focus on. If you aren't, I guess here's what I'm trying to explain is, it's very easy to base how the game is going on by watching Enable, because generally, when he gets shut down early, that means they're losing their flanker. They don't have anyone up close and ready to finish off people and to stop a flag cap or even grab a flag cap. And on the other hand, when he's doing well, his teammates are all most likely alive, putting shots on people, and then he's right up there without them seeing him and getting these easy finishes. So that's why a lot of times it's easy to focus on those flashy players or those main slayers, because you really can tell in many cases how the pace of the game is going from just watching that screen alone. And it seems like he's been getting shut down a bit lately. I mean, it's 4-2, 10 minutes in this game, one cap away for RHAB to win this game. So right now we know there's backs against the wall, and what you're going to be doing in this situation, if I'm status quo, is obviously you have to make some flag runs. You have 5 minutes left, but you can absolutely not afford to get an all-4 down on your team. You have to be very, very careful about that. You have to see if you can get the other team to ever panic and run a flag cap. You have to see if you run a flag back. You cannot, you can't overextend and just get an all-4 down just to finish that cap. Right now, you have to get caps without obviously letting them get a counter cap. So, be interested to see how RHAB reacts in this situation when they're up, because I've noticed a lot of teams when they get up, let's say 4-2, or they have a decent lead and time's winding down, is for some unknown reason is they switch up their game style. Now, there's nothing wrong with not going for that 5th cap and slaying, but there's something completely wrong where you change your gameplay to playing complete defense. And by that, I mean not pushing over to the other side of the map anymore. Not getting slays on their side, not getting those spawn kills. Some people get in this mindset that they have a lead and they're just going to try to get basically flag stops. They're like, oh, if they're going to grab our flag, let's just stay over here, camp, and kill them here. But that's one of the worst things you can do, because let me explain why. If you're sitting on your side of the map just trying to stop the other team from getting a cap, you're giving up control of their half of the map, which puts no pressure on them off spawn. They're able to get over to your side in no time. And on top of that, when they get a kill on you, they're within grabbing distance of your flag. They're able to get a kill on you and grab the flag before you can spawn. That's a big deal. Whereas if I'm on their side of the map, let's say I'm RHAB and I'm on status quo side of the map, if you kill me, you're still more than 10 seconds away from running over to my flag and getting it. So basically, I have, in essence, 2 lives that I get to use to defend my flag. You have to kill me once on your side, you push over to my side, and then you have to kill me once on my side. It gives me 2 opportunities to kill you, compared to if I'm sitting on my side of the map, which is what they're doing right now, they only have to be killed once. So it just shows almost like amateur mistakes, because you see how they've made up that deficit. It's 4-3 now, and you can see how the pace of the game has changed. All these other times, Enable's been pressured right off spawn, and actually, like right now, they are being pressured off spawn, and you notice how much better they're doing. There's 2 of them down. They actually have to go try to stop a cap now, whereas before they were all on the defensive on their side of the map. RHAB was on the defensive. Let me clarify that. Now, the thing that I think that they did wrong in this situation, when I'm talking about RHAB, is they tried to force a flag run right there. Now, there's a difference between running a flag that you know you can get, such as you have 3 or 4 down, and running a flag when it's a semi-risky cap, like let's say you only have 1 or 2 people down. Now, they have the lead. They do not have to force anything. And what they almost did right there is they tried to force a flag to try to end the game, and they got counter-capped on, right? Oh, they didn't get counter-capped on yet, but that was what enabled them to get a counter-cap. No pun intended. So we have a tie game right now. Next cap is winning. And yeah, I can just tell right now the pace of this game has changed drastically. You went from the very beginning where RHAB on the offensive, running smart caps, getting kills, and then they went to this other pace of the game where they sat back, tried to defend their flag, and then they went back to the very beginning style, which is good because obviously that was effective for them in the beginning, but they need to play each situation differently. In retrospect, they would have played their offensive style the entire time until that stopped working, and when it did stop working, then they still play an offensive style where they're not running the flags anymore, because offense is what's going to keep them on their side of the map. They can always run a counter cap. Basically, all they need to do is get one cap if SQ messes up. At the same time, they also just have to prevent SQ from capping, because time was on their side when they were up 4-2. A top team should not lose that situation. So 4-4. Enable, you could definitely see how they all panicked for that flag. That was a great job of Enable using that sticky dat. I wasn't sure how the situation was going to play out. I almost wanted to be like, Enable has the game in his hands right now, because if he messes this up, they're going to possibly cap. But if he doesn't, you know, they're going to get possible control of the map by getting 2 kills right there. So that was great by Enable. And one theme I want to say, if you ever went through and rewatched this, is you notice kind of how they do have these semi-roles I was talking about, where they're not clearly defined roles, but top players have these tendencies, such as Enable, flanking around the whole time. You have Victory, Fear, or Flame, a lot of times on the sides, putting shots in. Obviously, they aren't restricted completely to the sides of the map the entire time, in the same sense that Enable right now has Sniper, and he's the one laying down shots and staying on the sides. But they do play that, you know, to their strengths, and they also know what their weaknesses are, and they want to play those to their best effort. So, grim situation right here. You notice Victory, look at, he's just sitting around hiding, waiting for a little bit, seeing if he can isolate a 1v1 when his teammates were down. He had 2 of his teammates down. And when that case, you just want to either hide and buy time for your teammates, or if you can isolate that 1v1, just take it, because if your teammates aren't coming back for 10 seconds, especially if you're on the other side of the map, isolate that 1v1 so you can go 1 for 1, and that actually evens it out for your team. That's actually a very great trade. I would take, if 2 of my teammates were dead and the other team was fully alive, I'll take 1 for 1 any day. Once again, Enable and Bomb center, along with Fear, and looks like Flame's going to be getting top center to put all these shots on. So we're going to see if this setup works for them again. I mean, their flag's halfway across the map. Enable's doing a great job of getting as far in front as possible. Now, I was just going to say, I was like, I'm not sure if Enable should go that return. I don't think he should have, but I can't believe how he got naded right there and got stopped. The only thing stopping this flag right now is Cam. Victory is the one buying as much time as possible. He did his job by buying time, but we're just going to have to see if his teammates are able to get over in time. Jesus. This is actually pretty intense. Great job by SQ of not forcing trying to go for the stop, of at least getting their flag all the way to the other side of the map. Because right here, now they at least have sort of standoffish, and getting the recov, oh my god, 1 second away, that would have been game over. Now here's where you find this delicate balance, where top pro teams, they generally are going to play this much smarter. They're going to try to see if they can get someone trying to be a hero, trying to be a Walshy, where they can run over, return the flag, and save the day all by themselves. You don't want, this is not a single person effort. Especially even the times that I've ever been famous for like getting the last second flag recoup. This is all just basically playing it very smart. See if you can pick off one of the other team members, and it's like see if you can take focus away from the other team as well. So right here, I noticed they got 1 pick, I believe is on Morello, where he seemed to like kind of run across the map, and that enabled to get over there, get a flag kill, stop. I don't see how he could not get this recov. So Enable gets the recov, and they get the recov as well. So we're back at square one again. That's pretty ridiculous. I assumed a standoffish situation like that, someone was just gonna get the recov, this game was gonna be over, and yeah, I had no idea that was gonna happen. But so Fear gets the kill, and I think it's pretty smart that he's just grabbing the snipe and not worrying. I don't know, it's not that big of a deal to get the recovery when your flag's only a few feet away from your spawn point. I think some people always make that mistake, like, oh, if the flag gets touched off my base, I have to recover it. Even Fear right there felt that need to. But unless you're running it back, like, you can just go on and not waste those extra 3 or 4 seconds and go do whatever's more important to your team. So we have both flags here. Let's see. That's a good idea to get the touch. OS just instantly melted. It's not as important as we thought before. Now this is a great job. Fear itself, he is sitting out in front. He does not want to wait for someone else to find his teammate first. he got there, scoped it out, checked out shots, was also ready to just dive on it if his teammate died. So that was a good way to train in the last cap. So yeah, this was my first quad screen gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Right here, there's a few links. Arena Gaming, which had this recent event in Chicago and has many other events planned. Please check them out. Halo Council, everyone already knows them. They do a great job putting up content. Please feel free to check out my Twitter, subscribe to me on YouTube, along with I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Walsh. Check out Ninja, and big thanks out to Jeenyus. Jeenyus was the one that was able to get this quad screen gameplay up. He sent this over to me, and I wouldn't be able to do these gameplays and try to give overall perspective on how, I guess, like flanking works in a team aspect and how setting up caps work and covering caps. So this is my first time, I guess, doing my own quad screen gameplay compared to commentating at an event. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave feedback below, constructive criticism. I'd love to do more of these in the future, and thanks for watching.